We got another video for you guys today, and this one's gonna be about the Godox VL-200. Everything arrives to you in a really nice bag, and Godox includes a nice reflector. You got your really long power cable, the light itself, my precious, and everything's organized in these nice sleeves. In the back sleeve, you got your XLR cable, the enormous receiver. To the left, you got your remote control, your power brick or your wall AC unit, a shoulder strap for the bag. My particular model came with barn doors, color filters for the barn door, pull-over diffusion, and I have no idea what this thing is, but it's included. Market for a nice key light for quite some time. I'm always willing to buy new lights or invest in my lights. In my opinion, it's always smart to invest in lights. The key to making great videos is really, you need a good camera, but sound and lighting are equally, if not more important. You could have the best camera in the world, but if your light setup or your lighting is terrible and you're lighting your subject really bad, it kills the video, right? Likewise, if your sound quality is really bad, you guys will turn off the video right away if the sound's not good. You can never invest too much in lighting. Now, of course, within your budget. About 6 months back or so, I invested in a set of 3 RGB LED lights. The RGB LED lights were budget friendly, but I wanted to invest in them. I thought they were pretty cool. You know, RGB lights are always useful. The price was right. I ended up buying a separate diffuser, one of those pop-up twisty diffusers that you put over the LED light. You know, I made it work and it's been working fine. I'm actually using that right now to light the scene along with some other environment lights. And I usually like to do the 2-point system or maybe the 3-point system if I can. So the 3 set really made sense to me. They didn't really have the correct, accurate color temperature, and they weren't really nearly as bright as I needed them to be. And then just in general, you know, they're smaller. To get that nice diffusion, you really need a nice parabolic deep light dome or diffusing dome. And you really can't do that with the LED lights. I just couldn't quite get myself to get the Apurture series. I know the Apurture series is probably the best light system out there, the most well-known light system. And I've heard great things. I've heard they had great customer service, the lights are very durable and so forth. I've actually never heard of Godox, but here comes Godox. And I know that very recently they came out with their VL series and the YouTube reviews sounded really good. So I wanted to take the risk. I figured, hey, I'll buy it, and if it just isn't that great, then I'll return it, hang on to my LED lights for a little longer, and then maybe eventually get an Apurture. I'm so glad that I ended up buying this light. I got the VL-200. I know there's the VL-120 and there's a VL-300. The VL-300 to me seemed like it was overkill for what I needed it for. And the VL-120 actually sounded perfect, but I wanted to get something that would future-proof me just a little bit, just in case I wanted to, do some outdoor lighting scenes in the future, or whatever the case may be. Now, along with getting the VL light, I knew I had to get a nice parabolic light dome. It was very important for me to get something that was quick setup. I didn't want something that I was gonna be fussing with, and I pulled the trigger on it. And I gotta tell you guys, it's changed everything. So here's the VL-200. This is such a great light. I think it's for the price, the quality, the accuracy, the features, the build quality, the fan is super quiet. This is a great purchase. And like I said, it's plenty bright for me right now. I think it's future proof. I absolutely love this thing. The mount mechanism that they give you, it's a little knob mechanism. I personally love it. You can mount it 90 degrees if you wanted to. Overall, the build quality, it's fantastic. And from what I understand, it's brighter than the equivalent Apurture series, which is kind of cool. You're saving a lot of money with this. And in my opinion, the way that I saw it, If I was gonna buy this to save some money and not get the Apurture, then that freed up my budget to buy more goodies. So I invested in a nice C-stand by Neewer. Then I ended up buying Neewer's hexagon 35-inch parabolic light dome. And I love that thing. It comes with 3 layers of diffusion. You have the inside diffusion, you have the outer sheet layer diffusion, and then you have the grid diffusion. And it's quick assembly, quick connect. It's not the rod mechanism where you gotta slip the rods in and Velcro the back. You actually don't have to Velcro the back at all. It's all like sewed in and really well done. The buttons are like, they have this like rubber on them. I think they're plastic because they're not magnetic, so I don't think they're metal. The tabs are plastic, but they're like a hard plastic. I don't anticipate them breaking. It's cool that they give you like a little rubber piece to protect your fingers. I buy a lot of Neewer stuff, and I've never been disappointed. If I have had a problem, I emailed them and they made it right. And it comes with a nice little bag. Everything is stitched on. Like I said, it has these little like plastic buttons that release it. And then to just set it in place, you literally just pull the rod straight up and it clicks into place, and then you just press it to release it. It's really easy to set up. It's super quick to set up. I keep the grid on there. The grid just Velcros on there with the outer diffuser. I have all 3 diffusers set up right now, the inner, the outer, and the grid. If they updated this, made it steel, Neewer, if you're watching, and if you do that, send me a free one. But if they do that, then they got an Apurture Killer 100%. Paired with this VL-200, you got something really special there. I think this is a hidden gem right now. I think this is gonna take off. All right, so what don't I like about the VL-200? Well, if I had to nitpick, and this is me really nitpicking here, when you're using the remote, so the light can go down below 10%, the brightness level. But when you're using the remote, for whatever reason, you can't go past 10%. You gotta get up and actually spin the dial on the receiver, which it's kind of weird. I'm sure there's a reason for it. It's nitpicking. I don't think I've had to go below 10% or even below 20, but it's nice to know that you could operate it with the remote if you needed to. And then I would say the other thing is, which is kind of everyone's pet peeve right now, is the receiver is kind of long, and they give you this like little plastic wire thing to hang it, which I think is kind of weird. I get it. It's long because you can go wireless and put some batteries in there and you have a freestanding light, but I just don't understand the wire thing. Again, it's kind of nitpicking. The wire feels pretty sturdy. I don't anticipate it snapping off by by the load, the weight. It will definitely snap off or break if you accidentally like yanked it, forgetting that you had it hanging or something, or it gets caught on something. And I guess is what I'm saying. It would have been icing on the cake if they had some sort of like, clamp box or something that they include to just keep everything in a nice, neat package. Again, that's really nitpicking. I don't see it as a big problem right now. I think they'll probably gonna release something. Godox will probably make it right. As far as cables go, they provide all the cables that you need. The AC wall cable is plenty long. They gave you like more than what you need. So if you really needed to reach out and plug into something and you didn't have an extension cord, they really gave you quite a bit of cable there. Cable to the receiver is pretty long as well. And then from the receiver to the light, the XLR cable, that is on the short side. It could have been longer, but I still think they were really generous with the entire package. So overall, I would say the cable's spot on. You can buy a longer XLR cable. The most important thing is the AC adapter to the wall, right? Because that's one unit. And they were really generous with that. So again, Godox, just like, you can tell they care. They really care. They want to give you the best value. They're really competing for your money. And I gotta applaud them. This is just ridiculously a great value. All right, so what am I gonna do with my GVM LED RGB lights? Well, I'm keeping them. Those are gonna be my scene lights. I think I'm gonna use those to just add some like RGB scene lights to whatever it is that I'm filming. I think those are great lights. They're definitely great for like a music video or just lighting up the scene and getting that tone that I may be looking for. So I'm actually gonna switch over now. I'll do a couple things. I'll put the Godox with the Neewer light dome, and then I'll use the RGB light and I'll kind of light the back and show you the possibilities now. Let me switch over to the light right now. All right, and we're back. So this is with the Godox Neewer light dome and the C-stand, and you can see that right away, perfectly exposed with a nice diffusion. It's very soft. It's not as harsh as the LED. I'm only running at 10%. I'm at 5600 Kelvin. The camera's set to 5600 Kelvin. This thing is fantastic. I'm using 10% of the light right now. It's just insane. So, all right, here's the deal. I was watching all these videos and I'm kind of dreading this. I didn't want to do this, but if you don't blind yourself in the face with your new key light, you're not a real YouTuber. Let's go ahead and torture my eyes a bit, and I'll show you guys how bright this thing gets. So this is completely off right now, and this is at 10%. So let's take up the brightness until I blind myself for the sake of subscribers. So just please subscribe. I'm blinding myself. I'm disabling my eyes so you can watch my videos. 30%, 50%, 70%. I'm not looking. 90%. This is 100%. My camera's blinking out of control. It's telling me that I'm more than 2 stops overexposed. So yeah, I hope I get at least 1 subscriber for this. Okay, so let's bring it back down to reality. So let me go ahead and turn on the RGB and let's see if we can get some mood in here, right? The cool thing about the GVM LED lights, the GVM RGB lights, is that you can actually run the whole thing off of an app. I have it on right now, so we can actually change the colors all remotely with the app. Let me know when the scene gets too sexy for you guys. That's the cool thing about having an RGB light. You can turn it off, turn it back on. You know, we can do whatever we want. We can just go back to the light. Got a 5600 Kelvin right now. Bring the brightness all the way up to 100 or dim it really low. I got 3 of them, so we can definitely play around with this and light the scene a little bit more. You know, there you go. You got all these cool colors you can go through. Some nasty colors too. So that's everything that I have for the VL-200, and I think it's a fantastic light. Godox knocked it out of the park. Neewer knocked it out of the park. If you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get alerts to my next video. Let's try to get me to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit my first 1,000 subscribers by, let's just say, March. So if you guys can subscribe, share my videos, help get me started, help get me out there, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.